Hey, Stewart's Chapel. Don Pierson here, and Don counts, and we're in my office, and I need to check. I can't remember what day of devotion this is. This is Monday's devotion. Mondays. And I want to talk with you about stuck because of unforgiveness. Now, I could deal with a whole bunch of issues, but I want us to spend some time today talking about being stuck because of unforgiveness. In Matthew chapter 6, in the middle of the Sermon on the Mount, after Jesus gives what we call the Lord's Prayer, Jesus says this to his audience, to those that fill the mountain. If you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Now, that's a hard 2 verses. In fact, that's a hard saying. And in fact, it's usually the Pharisees. I want to tell you that. It's usually the Pharisees that say, well, he didn't really mean this. You need to know something about me. I really believe that God means what he says. I don't think God needs a lot of explaining. I definitely don't think he means for me to say to you, well, this is what he says, but that's not what he means. No, I think he means what he says. I think so for many reasons. First of all, Jesus will go on and he will tell many parables about forgiveness. He will challenge his disciples about forgiveness. You see, forgiveness is a work of God. It is the manifestation of a heart that has been transformed. It is very, very hard. In fact, some would say that it is impossible for a mere man to forgive without a work of God. You see, my forgiveness of someone is a declaration not of what I have done, but of what God has done, not in them, but in me. It's a declaration. And when I know, and I can think of several cases, those times when I know that I have truly forgiven, I find liberty, freedom. Now, it's not about forgetting, but there's peace. And there's liberty even in the midst of still remembering. I no longer carry it. I no longer hold it up to them or to him. I'm able to continue my walk of walking worthy. You see, forgiveness is a fruit of the Spirit, is a work of God. It comes when a believer yields to that Spirit, allows that Spirit to change his heart. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I've met some that refuse to forgive. It's not so much because of what was done. I mean, that is part of it. They refuse to forgive because they don't want anyone to forget. So they will tell you and everybody else who will listen what so-and-so did, or what so-and-so still does. Because they're afraid that if they forgive, then there will be no one left to hold that person accountable. Boy, such a small understanding of who God is. You see, forgiveness allows me to put the vengeance where it belongs, in the hands of God, not mine. It allows me to allow God and trust God to do as he needs to do. If that individual comes to Christ and God covers the multitude of sin, I will be able to rejoice and not to be spiteful or resentful. I won't be grieved by it. I won't be angry at God or bitter by it. I will be able to rejoice. So it is true. Some individuals choose to be stuck because they choose to refuse to allow God to change their heart towards one individual. That's a sad place to be. Love you, Stewart's Chapel.